preference of be my height or taller.
Well, I mean, that's his insecurity. If he should never try to talk to you. If you felt a certain way that you're taller than him, and he should never try to approach you. And if you
This is
decide to take
facts.
a chance,
That don't mean that they don't do it though.
I mean, that's true. I'm saying I feel like that's kind of a sucker. Like, why would
Mm-hmm.
you take your risk and try to talk to this woman and you get her to fall in love with you or like you, and then all of a sudden I want you to take the heels off now? Like, what's the point of even trying to holler? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
and that's what's funny is I like to
that's
climb that
ridiculous.
tree. Like, sir,
that's ridiculous. Now you can't get down. You're too short to get down on the tree.
jump.
Right. And do a backflip.
Do y'all think that? Because it was interesting. I was reading comments, and a lot of comments were saying kind of what Lassie said, and then some people kind of said what Jenna and KP said. Like, it's a lot of double standards that we aren't, that you guys as men have more of, and like, so what? It was a lot of so what comments. I don't know. I agree with Lassie though. I think that that's okay, but as long as you're not like bashing, and I think that's where more of the issue came in at. And somebody even mentioned if you go back in time with the whole slavery thing, and then the darker, the lighter, the paper bag, brown bag theory, and things like that. And I think that's where people say it kind of it's a little bit more deep rooted than I prefer light skin women, because I think people look at something else versus that. So I think that's where that issue comes in, as far as fat women or bigger women.
Right, I felt kind of bad.
I think it's the same thing, but I think it's all a preference.
Okay.
Like, I think it's all how you say it. If you're very tactful and or just don't, like Waxy said, to me, just don't add the negative aspect to it. I don't like dark skinned women because
I posed this question. I said, what if you ask, like, say for instance, you were a dark skinned woman and you try to approach a guy and you said, I don't like dark skinned women. You ask him why, and he said, he says, dang, what did he say?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like that. I just don't like dark skinned women.
Okay.
Is that a good enough answer, or do you think that it should be more to it?
I think there's already more to it. You just don't want to say, and I guess I'm not really here to listen to. I don't want to call it ignorance, but for me, if I just hear that off top, I just think it's something stupid behind it. I'm sorry. That's just how.
Yeah. What if one said that's just what I like? Then
if that's what I mean.
That's just what I like. That's what I meant to say. If that's that's just what I like.
Yeah, if you like what you like,
that's what you like.
That's what it's the way you say it. Like,
okay.
If you just kind of like get offended, like, okay, like,
calm down.
It's like somebody was like, well, why do you? And I think it's more easier for me to be like, and sorry to say, if somebody was like, well, why don't you like short man? Like, fam, I'm 5'10" and I'm 6'2" or 6'3" with heels on. I think it's logically you can see that he's here and I'm here. We look like some stairs. Like, that's not sexy. It's alright. I think it logically makes sense versus you being dark and her being dark, and you being light and her being dark, and somebody ain't gonna be like, ugh. Like,
right.
So I think, now that I just thought about that, I think that's just what it is. In the era that we live in too, as far as big women or fat women, as you said, so I put that on you and stuff. You was like, no, you said it first. I think that's another thing too in the era we live in, where people look at bigger people and be like, oh, you need to lose weight. It's more of a negative connotation versus he's short and I'm tall.
I mean, there's a niche for everybody. Like, some women like guys with belly, some women don't. Some women it's just a lot. Some like women muscles.
She ain't a lady if she ain't creative.
Some women like.
I think it's all preferences, and again, and when it goes into that, I don't like them because you don't have to add that because. Just say that that's not your preference, and you just like what you like.
Well, I was thinking about it too. Ilana. Fix my life. The lady, fix my life, lady.
Iyanla. Your tongue do the extra click that ain't necessary. Okay, Miss Fix My Life. Miss Van Zant.
Miss Van Zant. There you go. Thank you. Miss Van Zant. I had Hazel E. On the show, and I just saw some of the clips, and she was talking about she made a post that she got kicked off of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood or LA because she made a statement about dark skinned women saying they're ugly, they don't pass paper bond test. And come to find out, I guess when she was younger, they kind of got her raped or something like that. Something happened to her where something deep rooted, and I guess that's where it came from. Where she was like, So maybe sometimes there are people like that have those deep rooted issues that never worked them out, and that's probably why they have certain issues. But that's still not an excuse to not like a certain person because of their race, gender, sex, creed, or whatever. So.
Yeah, I watched it. I didn't really pay attention to the end. As far as I remember, she mentioned it, and her mom didn't bring it up, and she's like, you knew, but you didn't want to say nothing to me. But yeah, it was one of those things where I don't want to call it a reflex, but like you said, I think it can be deep rooted because it was like she felt as if everybody was attacking her, and she said something about y'all look like monkeys and blah blah blah.
It's a defense mechanism. Like, you hurt me, I'm hurt you back with my words.
Right.
Yeah.
And those words are very, very hurtful.
Yeah. So she had to sit down with some other women that were once famous or are famous. I don't know her name. She was Niecy in what's that show? Being Mary Jane.
Bigger should the heavier.
Yeah. And Tricks. No, Ronnie from, I think that's her, from Players Club was on there. She was on another episode too. But yeah, and they just talked about like the light dark thing and how we all sisters.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Interesting.
Share that conversation.
Yeah. So moral of the story is,
I like what I like.
Tall short thing is cool. It's fun. I like what I like. Cool. Fair enough. So, when you were younger, this is a question. I think I seen it online, but I thought it was interesting to talk about too. The question is, do children deserve apologies and explanations from their parents? I just want to start here. We'll go around, but I just want a yes or no. And I guess there could be multiple times, but just off top, do you think or feel as if your parents like apologize to you when necessary when you were a child? Did your parents apologize to you?
No.
Yes, when necessary.
I can't think, so I'm gonna just say no.
Yeah, I can't really think anything either. So no. So okay, my next question is the question: Do you think children deserve apologies and explanations from their parents?
It's funny that you say that because I had a conversation about this the other day. I don't know if y'all remember, off topic on topic, when we talked about on the podcast about there was a picture of a child who ripped up their allowance because their mom didn't give them the amount that she said she was going to give them.
Yeah, I seen that.
So we talked about that, and I've seen it recently again, and a lot of people were saying, well, why didn't she give him the amount that, she said she would give him? And I said, one of the first things I said was, I don't have to explain myself to you.
Thank you.
But I said, and I said that in a way of, if something is really going wrong financially, I don't want you as my child to worry about finances.
Right.
I want to still give you something that you asked for, because who knows what you asked for this money for, whatever the case may be. If you're saving for something, if you wanted to buy something, if you wanted to go out with your friends for the weekend, whatever.
Right.
But if I said that I was going to give you $40, $50 and I only gave you $30 and you rip up what I gave you, that's going to upset me because I'm going through it. And just because I don't give you an explanation of what's going on doesn't mean that, I'm not upholding to what I said I was going to do.
Right.
So I think in certain situations, yes, if it's something that, I would say this, based on their age.
Oh my gosh.
Based on their age, yes. If they're younger, no. Because I just don't think they're not going to understand, regardless. But I think, yeah, if you talk to your kids a certain way, sometimes as parents get stressed, and like we talked about on episode 70, parents are people. And sometimes they have moments where they're stressed, they're angry, and they come in the house and they don't mean to take their anger out on you, but it may happen. Let
me ask you, did you understand your mom's anger anytime she flipped out on you when you were younger?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
My mom, due to the hours that she worked, I kind of had to grow up a little bit faster, just because it was a lot of responsibility that I had to do for me and my little brother. But I think one thing that I said that I want to do with my kids is I do want to apologize to them. I don't ever want to hurt my kids' feelings and make them think like that's just okay for their parent to do, because it's not. So
what if, like, say if it's one of those things where they say they correct you or something, and you know they was right and you was wrong. Shut up and get in the car.
I think
do they deserve? I'm sorry, you were right in that moment.
I think it depends.
Put your seatbelt on and shut up.
I think it depends on the heat of the moment, but I can't say for sure. You know how you say you got to be in that moment.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, even now, if I feel that way towards somebody, I'll come back and say, you know what, you were right and I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have listened to you.
Mama, you stupid.
All right, now you stupid.
Local woman beats her child.
Oh, not me.
By Riverwest.
No.
Sit down.
No, yeah, that's just what I think. I think that they are deserving of an explanation depending on age and what it is. Certain things I still feel like they don't deserve an explanation. Just because my mom never made me worry as a kid, so I'm not gonna let my kids worry about stuff that they can't control. Personally.
Wani?
Yeah, I agree with Lassie. I mentioned before. I'm not a proponent of being a friend with your child. And simply because friends come and go, but your parents are always going to be there. And sometimes, I, sometimes I talk out of turn, and when my turn to talk, I popped in the mouth. I mean, that's what it was. Just learn your place. It is what it is. It's like when grown folks talking, you either get out the room or be quiet and shut up. Be blessed that you are in the room with them.
Yeah, but I mean that's disrespectful stuff that you do. I mean like stuff where the example I gave where you may have said something that may have been correct. And
and it's be quiet. Don't talk. That's talking back. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes without if it'd be a blessing if they come back and apologize. But no, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like we mentioned on 70, it's there are people, and sometimes, like you said, in the heat of the moment, I could be wrong. Jay-Z, did Jay-Z say he apologized to Blue when he started?
I was gonna bring that up. I was just gonna say that when y'all finished. I was gonna say I was watching Jay-Z. My next guest needs no introduction. David Letterman's Netflix series, I guess, and he has these, I guess, really important people, if you will. He had Jay-Z on, and he was talking about he got in the car with Blue, and she just kept talking and asking all these questions, and get in the car, dang. And he said, we drive, and then she's like, and he was taking her to school, and she's like, Dad, I really didn't like the way you yelled at me, the way you talked to me. And he said, all I could think of was that was just the most beautiful thing I ever heard. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, you never said you apologized, did you?
No, I think about it. No, he probably did. No, if he said it was beautiful, he probably was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if your child comes to you and says that, you're not gonna say, well, I didn't. I apologize for talking to you that way.
Some people, you'd be surprised.
You were being annoying. No.
Yeah, right. Like you kept talking. You was talking out of turn.
We need to get to school on time.
What parent, just like you ask no questions.
Yeah.
Right, basically.
Okay. No, I mean it's just like I said, man. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I think it goes to this parent style I was growing up with, and I'm close to my parents for that. Because I think a lot of those lessons that I learned, like I know when to talk, when to not to talk, when to move, how to move. And it's like, if you sit back and really think about those lessons, you kind of figure like, oh, okay, I see why they said that. Because a lot of times, some people that let their kids just talk, they're like, oh my God, here this person come. And like, you just never was quieter. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's just different than just telling you when to shut up or not to keep talking. I remember, and it was I think a Kevin Hart joke. He talked about his daughter was asking about something, how does something work, but then it kept going. I think she asked like, how does a car work? That's a car, it goes, and how does this work? And I guess she kept asking to like some intricate parts that he didn't understand. And he said, you ever like got so confused because your kids was asking you smart questions and you didn't know the answer? You said, shut up and go in the room, and you got mad at them for no reason.
Right.
So ask a stupid question.
Right.
And, like it was funny. I was like, oh dang. So it's one of the things where you may correct them or something may pop up and you like, that's not right. And they like, well, I said it's right, and then they don't just be like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you were right. I think your mechanism is kind of different, but I think that does matter. But I think too, the apologies, even if it's not like an argument, I think it does create awareness for the child, so that when they get in a situation, when they get older, they know how to apologize.
Right.
That doesn't have to be a parent; it could just be regular everyday life.
Right.
Because sometimes, especially in this era, you get people who just don't want to apologize, or people may find it hard. And I've had moments where I felt that way, like it ain't really necessary. But sometimes that stuff really do matter. So I think it's important.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
hopefully, maybe it's really important how you interact with your spouse or whomever you're with, or just interacting with people in general. Like your children are looking at you as an example, and if they see you apologize, they're like, oh, okay, Of course, you want to reflect that with your kid, because they're gonna be looking like, well, if you can apologize to the adult, why can't you apologize to me?
Exactly.
But at least they still see that example of, okay, I was wrong. Or, maybe a child looking like, what, maybe I was a little, my daddy trying to watch the game and I'm over asking all these questions. And I'm sorry, Dad. And then, they might want it a little hard. Like, come here, sit down, watch the game with me.
Yeah. Ask no questions.
Right.
So who's the blue team again?
Hilarious.
Why you get tackled? Like,
right.
All right, I'll go in your room.
Go in there with your mom. Interesting.
Mama told me to come here with you.
Hilarious. You said you got on her nerves.
Oh.
Interesting topics, guys. Let's talk about J. Cole and his album.
Did you get an answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I said I think it's important, especially for when you grow up. It's important that they're able to know that that's the right thing to do. So, yeah.
Facts.
J. Cole and his album though.
Jermaine Cole. So it's so funny because we all know that when J. Cole starts
You stupid.
tweeting or sharing anything on any social media platform, something big about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, he is putting out an album this Friday on 420. So I just wanted to know your thoughts. I didn't get to listen to the last one, unfortunately, but are you guys geeked or excited to hear, or it's kind of come as a shock to everyone, so everyone doesn't really know what to expect, and who knows if there'll be features or not, but.
I don't want to say I'm excited. I'm here for it. I like Jermaine, but I'm not like, oh my god, like
Yeah, I feel you.
there's a lot of music out, and I like J. Cole. I know my niece, she's gonna be 15. She loves J. Cole. I'm gonna text her and ask her if she's excited. But yeah, I'm excited to hear it. I know he's having like a pop-up show in New York, like no cameras, no phones, no coats, no purse, no hair, no weave, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no shoes.
I seen the video and somebody still recorded, and it kind of made me mad because I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all totally disrespected what he asked, and I felt like he asked for very little, enjoyed the moment, and you
That's a lot. No shoes, no clothes, no eyebrows, no pens, no pencils, no nose, no mouth, no questions, no ears, no eyes. I'm just
for
coming.
your eyes only.
I'm coming to the show looking like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't think it was a surprise. He's gonna be at Summerfest.
Summerfest.
Mm-hmm.
So
Need some new stuff.
The material that he did already, he did that last
People
year.
still singing about folding clothes.
Yeah, but no, I just figured like it's like, well, I was talking to my cousin about Beyonce, and we were when I watched it, I saw some new music that I never heard. There's like different cuts that I never heard before, and we were saying like we were trying to figure out like what would they do because Lemonade's been played out in the sense where it's already been done. So I figured out the new rollout for artists now is to go concert and then showcase their new material. So then they can get that immediate reaction of, okay, this is hot, maybe this is not, maybe this is whatever. And of course, if you're a fan of J. Cole, you bought tickets to go see J. Cole anyway, so most likely you're gonna like anything that he does. But the last features too that he's been on, I know Jeezy was on that. He just did one with Royce, Voice 5'9", and he was spitting. So I think it's about that time. A lot of artists give you cues. If you sit back and just watch, they're very strategic, and they give you a lot of cues of what they're gonna do. And it's fun to sit back and just watch, especially your favorite artist, showcase their talent and stuff like that. I will be going to see J. Cole this Summerfest. So, but I'm excited. I hope he has some features.
Yeah, interesting.
Of course, he'll obviously love it.
What about you, Lassie?
I don't know. I want to go see him. But in regards to the CD, I guess I'm kind of looking forward to it. I guess I should listen to the old one or the one from last year. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm just curious to see if he's gonna have any features or if it's just gonna be him, which isn't a problem either way. But I'm just curious to see what he does. And if it's any different, I really didn't want to watch the video that the person leaked, but cause the caption said, this is different from any other J. Cole, and I was like, dang, I really want to hear it, but I just didn't feel right. I guess I was just like, I can't. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So.
I'm getting that bag. He's probably getting his bag. Same thing with Kanye. Kanye's been tweeting as well too. He tweeted.
Oh yeah, he tweeted some.
Yeah.
Inspirational things earlier.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's doing in Colorado. I follow a couple other people that he's supposed to be working with, and I saw the Dream up there. A lot of people, Kid Cudi, Nas. So I'm just excited to. It's just interesting to see how certain artists how they just get in their bag and just work. I just want to be a fly on the wall. It's like just to see how they work and what they do. People that have been around Kanye and how he just get a whiteboard and just throw stuff on the board like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Start screaming at you.
Yeah, start screaming at you. But